The Galactic Council chamber sparkled with golden lights, floating crystals, and tall glass walls that showed the stars beyond. Dozens of alien leaders sat in curved seats that circled a tall platform. On that platform stood Earth's ambassador, calm and ignored. A thick, gray-skinned creature with 7 eyes leaned forward and laughed. "Earth, you mean that little blue world full of sand and storms? You expect us to take them seriously?" The laughter grew louder. A bird-like alien flapped its wings in amusement. "They only just left their solar system. Their ships are like children's toys." A long-necked diplomat from the Zolari Empire added, "We've lived among stars for 10,000 years. Earth can barely manage space travel. Why should we share our secrets with them?" The Earth ambassador didn't speak. He simply stood still, hands folded behind his back. His face showed no anger, no fear, only patience. "They are asking to join our defense treaty," another voice said. "A planet with no allies, no colonies. What can they offer us?" A floating screen above the chamber showed Earth's current. Fleetingly, a handful of known ships, most of them outdated compared to galactic standards. The image brought another wave of mocking laughter. "Maybe we should let them join," one council member joked. "We could use some comedy during war briefings." Even the recording drones, usually silent, beeped awkwardly. Earth was no threat. Earth was a joke. But in a far corner of the room, a small drone hidden behind a column blinked once. Its signal was silent, but someone, somewhere, received it. The ambassador finally spoke, his voice calm but strong. "We thank the Council for its time. Earth understands your decision. We will return home." He bowed slightly and turned to leave. As he walked out of the chamber, no one watched him go. The laughter had returned, louder than before. Some even called after him, "Tell Earth to send better ships next time." The heavy doors shut behind him with a quiet hiss. The hallway outside was dark and empty. A man waited in the shadow stall, dressed in black armor, face hidden behind a smooth helmet. The ambassador nodded slightly. They bought it. The armored figure tapped his wrist once. A secure signal was sent across the star's side, invisible and fast. In a hidden room beneath Earth's surface, a red light turned green dot at the edge of the Milky Way. Inside a cold void between systems, thousands of ships lay hidden silent, motionless, waiting. They had no markings. Their hulls were black. They did not match anything in the galactic database. A signal reached them. One by one, lights flickered on. Not bright lights, but soft, cold ones designed to avoid detection. Back in the council chamber, the laughter finally faded. The Zolari diplomat wiped a tear from his long eye and said, "I haven't laughed that hard in a century." But in that same moment, a small message appeared on the private screen of the Council's defense. "Leader." It came from one of their deep space sensors, one placed far from known systems. It showed a blur of movement, unidentified objects, a pattern, strange energy signatures, not matching any known species. It was dismissed quickly, probably space dust, or a glitch. After all, Earth was weak. Earth was nothing, and yet light years away. Inside one of Earth's hidden command rooms, a woman stood before a massive screen. Her uniform had no rank. Her name had been erased years ago. She spoke clearly. "Ghost Armada, initiate low wake. Begin silent movement." Behind her, giant ships began to rise from a dark gas field, powered by engines that made no sound. And on Earth, no one celebrated. No one cheered. The world stayed quiet. Factories ran in shadows. Code was updated in hidden bunkers. Everything had been planned for decades. They had let the galaxy laugh, because no one fears a joke. But soon, the joke would be over. Dark space stretched endlessly near the edge of the galaxy. No stars glowed here. No trade ships passed. It was called the Black Region, a place forgotten by most civilizations. To others, it was simply too cold, too empty, too lifeless to matter. But deep inside that silence, something waited. A signal moved through space fast, quiet, encoded with Earth's most secret code. It was so well hidden that not even the oldest alien empires could detect it. Yet the machines buried inside the void woke instantly. One by one, ships powered on without sound. They were unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Their surfaces were smooth, dark, and covered in strange patterns that shimmered like shifting stars. They were shaped not for beauty, but for silence. Their engines left no trail. Their weapons were hidden, quiet, and ready. In a hidden base, on a frozen moon, a group of humans watched the data scroll across a large holoscreen. They were dressed in dark gray suits with no badges, no names. Some were pilots, others were engineers. All were quiet. A man with short white hair leaned forward. "All units reporting ready," he said calmly. A woman near him nodded. "Good. They laughed at us. They think Earth is weak. Now we show them we were never sleeping." Earth's plan had begun almost 40 years ago. The day the Council rejected Earth's request to join the galaxy's defense treaty, the real work started. Earth stopped showing its real technology. Its best scientists were moved underground. Most advanced research projects were deleted from public view, and a new secret group was born, the Veiled. They were not soldiers. They were planners, thinkers, strategists. Their job was not to attack. Their job was to prepare for the day the galaxy turned its back on Earth. They built hidden shipyards inside gas clouds. They carved stations into frozen moons. They tested cloaking tech inside black holes. Earth's public fleet was made to look old on purpose. It was part of the plan. Even human leaders on Earth didn't know the full truth. Only a few at the top, those who had signed the deep protocol, understood what Earth was becoming. Now, all the waiting was over. Ships began to move, still invisible. Thousands of them, carriers, destroyers, stealth scouts, even smaller drone fleets that could mimic dust clouds. Back at the Council's side of the galaxy, no one suspected anything. News networks still joked about Earth's toy ships. Alien citizens laughed at Earth memes showing broken rockets and outdated engines. But inside Earth's true command center, buried beneath a desert with no name, human minds worked around the clock. A giant screen showed the map of the galaxy. Red dots marked areas of interest: fuel hubs, trade lanes, communication relays. A young analyst turned toward the commander. "We've tracked their fleet paths. The Council is increasing patrols near Earth's border. They think we're scared." The commander gave a small smile. Let them believe that. Outside, the desert was quiet. Nothing moved under the stars. But below, deeper than any satellite could scan, Earth's future was in motion. Over the solar system, ordinary satellites began to change direction. They opened hidden panels. Long thin antennas reached out like insect legs. They weren't just watching, they were scanning the entire galaxy's data grid. The Veiled didn't plan to attack. They planned to understand, to know every weakness, every route, every command chain, not to destroy but to control. Still, most of Earth remained unaware. Cities carried on. Schools taught history. People watched sports. But deep under oceans, inside mountains, far beyond normal eyes, Earth's real strength was growing. A message came through: just 2 words. Phase 2. The humans in the frozen moon base stood at attention. A voice spoke through the main speaker. Calm, firm. Move into shadow range. All systems quiet. The galaxy is watching for sound. We'll give them silence. And so, like shadows, stretching across the stars, Earth's armada began to move. No lights, no sound, no fear. They were not attacking. Not yet. They were arriving. The sky above Earth was clear, peaceful, almost to normal. People walked through city streets, watching floating news screens. Most of the galaxy's attention was still far away. Trade wars, political debates, entertainment, from distant worlds. But in Earth's orbit, something had changed. 5 large alien ships had just arrived. They appeared without warning, towering vessels from the Council's enforcement arm. These ships weren't here to talk. They didn't send a friendly greeting. Instead, they sent one short message across every public frequency. Surrender your airspace. You are under review by the Galactic Council. The message echoed through radios, screens, satellites. Some people froze. Others didn't know what it meant. But in Earth's underground command network, the signal meant one thing. The Council had finally moved. From a secure base below Antarctica's ice, a human officer spoke quietly. They came faster than expected. Another replied, "They think they'll scare us with a few ships." No alarms were triggered above ground. There were no flashing lights, no loudspeakers. Earth had learned not to panic. This moment had been expected for decades. From the alien flagship, a transmission began again, this time with visual. A tall creature with silver skin and glowing eyes appeared on screens above major cities. "This is your only warning. You are to surrender. Earth is not recognized as a full galactic partner. You have denied inspection. You have avoided protocol. The people watching didn't know how to respond. Some recorded it on their devices. Others gathered near large screens. It felt like a movie, a strange one. Then the alien added one last sentence. Your ships are few. Your defenses are weak. Do not resist. But no reply came. In space, Earth's known ships are small, outdated defense, ring floated quietly. Their engines were cold, their signal lights dim. From orbit, the alien ships scanned Earth's surface and surrounding zones. Their data matched old reports. Weak energy output, no heavy fleet movement, few orbital weapons. It looked exactly how they expected. Then ... Everything stopped. There. Scanners froze for 3 seconds. Just 3. But when they came back online, something had changed. Behind Earth's moon, where only deep shadow existed, hundreds of signals lit up at once. Stealth systems turned off. Engines came online. Black ships large and small moved as one, forming patterns in total silence. The alien lead ship paused. What is that? A crew member asked. No answer came, because no one had ever seen ships like these before. Their shapes didn't match any species in the Council database. Their heat signatures were perfectly balanced. They moved in formation tighter than anything the galaxy considered possible. One of the alien captains ordered a scan. The scan returned. Nothing useful. The ships were coated in a material that bent signals, confused sensors, blocked readings. Even the AI systems couldn't guess their purpose. On Earth, most citizens still saw nothing. The news spoke of space traffic confusion and false sensor echoes. Only those at the top knew the truth. In an underground chamber, the same calm human commander from before watched a live feed. Show them, he said simply. At once, the black ships began to surround the alien fleet. They didn't fire, they didn't threaten. They just moved into perfect position. Every ship silently locking onto targets. From the alien lead ship, panic began to rise. One of the officers spoke urgently. These ships outnumber us 20 to 1. They were here the whole time. The captain whispered, no, they were hiding. Then, a transmission came from one of Earth's black ships. It was a calm voice, human, clear. This is Earth's first silent fleet. You entered without permission. Your message was received. Our answer is silence. The alien ships began to back away. Their engines hummed louder, trying to calculate a safe path out. But no opening was left. Earth's fleet had boxed them in completely. Still, no weapons were fired. It wasn't war. It was demonstration, one by one. Earth's hidden ships began activating new layers, cloaked panels, revealed deep systems, strange tech pulsing with a soft blue light. They didn't look like war machines. They looked beyond that. Above Earth. For the first time, the galaxy saw a part of humanity it didn't know existed. The aliens who came to intimidate had seen enough. Their ships turned, engines pushed to max power, and they left Earth's orbit without saying another word, as they vanished into hyperspace. One of the alien captains recorded a final report. We were wrong. Earth is not behind us. It may be ahead, and back on Earth. In the quiet command base under the ice, the commander simply said, now they've seen the shadows. No one in the galaxy laughed that day, but Earth still said nothing. A ripple of silence moved through the galaxy news channels. Data hubs and intelligence outposts across hundreds of planets picked up the same strange signal, a low-energy wave that spread outward from Earth's sector. It wasn't a threat. It wasn't a broadcast. It was something else. A presence. In every advanced civilization, military eyes turned toward the Sol system again. The 5 alien warships that had tried to confront Earth had returned, but without answers. Their captains filed minimal reports. Some refused to speak. One simply said, we were surrounded by something we couldn't explain. At first, many in the galaxy still thought it was a trick. Some called it a bluff. Others believed the fleet was an illusion, advanced holograms, or strange energy echoes. But then, deep space monitoring stations began detecting movement, not just from Earth's orbit, but from far beyond, from places where nothing should exist. In the shadow of forgotten moons, behind dead planets, within ancient nebula storms, ships began to emerge. Not loud, not aggressive, just ... present. These ships didn't match anything in the Council's archive. Their surfaces absorbed light. Their shapes were smooth and changing, as if they adapted to their surroundings. Some moved in tight formations, others vanished and reappeared thousands of kilometers away in seconds. Galactic scientists argued over the footage. Impossible, they said. No known propulsion system can do that. But it was real. A popular news station on the Galactic network aired the headline, "Earth's true fleet appears. The hidden Armada is not a myth." Millions watched as shaky footage showed hundreds of ships gliding silently past an asteroid belt near Sector 12. No signals, no markings. And yet, every sensor tracking them failed to get accurate data. Even the colors changed when viewed from different angles. One alien engineer said, "It's like the ships are bending reality." On Earth, the public still saw only small pieces. Most people continued with daily life. The government released calming statements, routine military exercises. They claimed peaceful tests of new vessels. But among the veiled those who knew Earth's true strategy, things were moving fast. Inside the Boreal Command Nexus, hidden beneath layers of Arctic ice, senior operatives gathered around a live projection of the galaxy. Red zones marked the old Council powers. Yellow dots showed trade routes and outposts. But now, blue signals had begun appearing, dozens at first, then hundreds. These were Earth's hidden ships, slowly positioning themselves. They weren't blocking anyone. They weren't firing a single shot. But every move said one thing: "We are here. We were always here, and you never noticed." Back in Council space, panic turned into confusion. How did Earth build so many ships without anyone knowing? Where did the resources come from? Who helped them? Private meetings were held between the elder races. Some suspected hidden allies. Others believed Earth had discovered ancient technology, maybe something older than the Council itself. One elder species, the Virex, reviewed old legends. There were whispers, they said, of a world that learned in silence, building in the shadows. A world that listened more than it spoke. Now, they believed Earth was that world. Within one galactic cycle, Earth's position in the political map changed. Smaller civilizations, long ignored by the Council, began opening channels to Earth, not because they wanted protection, but because they sensed something powerful. A new kind of power, calm, precise, watchful. One message from a small planet called Rithon read, "We've watched the way you move. Teach us. Guide us." Earth didn't reply to most messages. Not yet. It remained quiet. That silence was now its voice. From a hidden command vessel deep in the Kuiper Belt, a young human officer asked his captain, "Are we ready to be seen?" The captain shook his head slowly. "Not yet. Let them feel us first. Let them question everything." Far above Earth, the dark fleet stayed invisible to ordinary eyes. But in space, among the stars, it became known by a name whispered across alien networks: the Shadow Armada. No one understood how many ships Earth had. Some guessed hundreds, others feared thousands. But the truth was more complicated, because Earth hadn't just built ships. They had built something else, an invisible network of presence, pattern, and control. One alien strategist said it best during a secret broadcast: Earth didn't rise by force. They rose by watching, waiting, and building what we all forgot: true balance. And so the galaxy waited for what would happen next. The galaxy didn't know how to respond. For the first time in centuries, the Council had no clear answers. Their records, sensors, and even their ancient advisors couldn't explain what had just happened. Earth, once mocked and ignored, had revealed a presence no one could deny. A hidden armada had appeared not in one place, but across multiple sectors, all at once. It wasn't a declaration of war. It wasn't even a message. It was a quiet movement, a shadow across stars. And that silence was louder than any weapon. At Council headquarters, high-ranking members sat in emergency session. Holograms flickered. Reports floated mid-air, showing Earth's unknown fleet positions. No exact numbers. No confirmed technology, no clear threat, but something about the data disturbed everyone. A calm voice from one of the oldest members broke the silence. If they've had this kind of power, and kept it hidden all this time, then Earth is not what we thought. Back on Earth, everything looked normal. Cities moved at their usual pace. Skies remained clear. There were no grand parades, no broadcasts, no leaders standing on stages claiming victory. But far beneath the surface, Earth's strategy was shifting. Inside the substellar planning corridor deep beneath the Indian Ocean, floor commanders met in quiet rooms. Their screens showed galactic charts. Their voices stayed low. This was the moment they had trained for. A young strategist pointed to a map where blue dots marked Earth's hidden fleet. We're not attacking. We're moving between their supply routes. If they scan, we vanish. If they send ships, we surround. An older officer nodded. Good. Let them feel surrounded without knowing how. Let them realize we're not here to destroy anything. We're here to change everything. In the outer rim sectors, smaller planets had started to notice something strange. Their skies were safer. Pirates vanished. Trade routes cleared. Communications improved. And no council patrols were responsible. People began asking, who's protecting us? The answer came slowly, whispered between traders and captains. It's the humans. The Shadow Armada didn't demand territory. It didn't fly banners, but its presence could be felt. Ships that attacked innocent worlds disappeared without explanation. Stations in distress were silently helped, their systems repaired overnight. No message, no thanks needed. And every time, when someone tried to trace the source, they found the same thing. Nothing, just a signal. Faint, cold. Humanity was near. Some began calling Earth's fleet the Watchers. Others used the name, the Hidden Shield. In a neutral zone far from Earth, a council diplomat tried to make contact with one of the human ships. He sent a message. We acknowledge your presence. Are you seeking membership now, or power? The human reply was short. Neither. We seek respect for all. In the political heart of the galaxy, that response spread fast. It wasn't what anyone expected. No demands, no revenge, just a new kind of order, one that didn't ask for permission. Other species, those left behind by the Council's elite, began to notice. On the trade planet Zelka, small nations gathered and agreed to open talks with Earth. On the ice world, Bravax scholars requested access to human knowledge. On mining colonies once ignored by the Council, workers raised banners that simply read, Earth listened, Earth returned. Meanwhile, the Council tried to hold its control. New patrols were launched. But every time a fleet moved close to Earth's influence zones, something strange happened. Ships would receive strange signals, low-level pings, soft pulses, and then ... silence. But within hours, those ships would report strange failures, sensor drift, navigation confusion, energy redirection. Nothing dangerous, nothing provable, but enough to feel lost. The Council began to hesitate. Their power wasn't challenged openly. It was being unnoticed, outgrown. Back on Earth, the true fleet didn't celebrate. They moved with quiet purpose. Satellites shifted, quantum links aligned. Human ships gathered near quiet stars, studying, tracking, calculating. Not just the Council, but every pattern in the galaxy, and the most advanced command ship. Echo Prime hovered in a lightless sector known as the Pale Divide. Inside, a captain stood before a massive glass wall, watching a star collapse in the distance. His face was calm. They're starting to understand, he said. A young crew member asked, do we answer them now? The captain shook his head. No, they haven't asked the right question yet, because Earth hadn't come to join the galaxy. It had come to remind it. Silence isn't weakness. It's preparation. A quiet tension spread through the stars. Across the galaxy, news feeds flickered with stories that sounded almost unbelievable. Earth, the planet once dismissed as slow, backward, and inexperienced, had quietly revealed a fleet more advanced than anything seen before. No battles, no threats, just presence. And presence alone had changed everything. Galactic Council worlds were uneasy. Trade ships rerouted their paths. Old alliances grew silent. In places once filled with pride and laughter at Earth's name, no one laughed now. On the surface of a silver planet called Zelari Prime, Council members gathered again in emergency session. The chamber was quieter this time. No mocking voices, no jokes, just unreadable expressions and unanswered questions. A senior official stood slowly. We were wrong, he said simply. Earth isn't what we believed. They didn't rise. They were already there, just unseen. Across the table, a historian from the elder race of Cadrell whispered, and they chose silence. Until we forced their hand. In orbit above Earth, the stars remained calm. The black-armored ships that once hid in the shadows now moved freely through space, slow, elegant, confident, not invading, not conquering, just watching, holding position in systems the Council never thought humans could reach. The name Shadow Armada had spread, But Earth never used it. They never claimed a title. They never gave interviews or held press conferences. Instead, they continued to move in patterns only few could understand. A message arrived at the Council's headquarters. It was brief, sent from one of Earth's most silent ships. "We are still listening. You can still change." There was no threat in the message, no order, but it carried a quiet power that made leaders lean forward and listen. The Council sent a response, a long message asking for peace, understanding, and perhaps forgiveness. They offered Earth a seat at the table, a voice in decisions, a formal title. But Earth's answer was unexpected. They sent a single ship. It wasn't large. It had no weapons on display. It moved slowly, almost peacefully, and landed on the neutral world of Telrose, where negotiations were to begin. Out stepped one human representative, dressed in a simple gray uniform. He carried no weapon, no guards, only a black case in his hand. The room was full of curious faces, aliens from dozens of worlds, many who had once laughed at Earth. Now, they waited. In respectful silence, the human placed the case on the table and opened it. Inside was no weapon, no document, just a small cube, glowing softly. "This," he said, "is a memory archive. It holds every moment Earth was ignored, every message unanswered, every attempt to build peace that was refused." He let the silence settle before continuing. "We didn't come to control. We didn't come to take revenge. We came to remind the galaxy that respect cannot be demanded. It must be offered freely." There were no cheers, no applause, just stillness. One by one, diplomats from minor worlds began to nod. Some stood, others simply whispered to those beside them. The balance of power had shifted, not by force, but by quiet example. But Earth had never been weak. It had simply chosen patience. Outside, in the orbit of Telrose, a group of children looked up at the sky. For the first time, they saw ships that had no known symbol, no flag. But they weren't afraid. One of them asked her teacher, "Who are those ships?" The teacher smiled. "Those are the ones who listened. The ones no one expected." And above them, in the silence of space, Earth's Armada drifted gently, still protecting, still silent. No conquest, no destruction, just presence. And in the stars, that presence would never be forgotten.